Hello, adventurers, and welcome to Grognard, friends. My name is Paul Lucas, your friendly neighborhood Grognard, and I'm coming to you from the secret underground bunker between worlds, far beneath scenic Grognard gables, where, along with my friends, we play a little game that we know as Dungeons and Dragons. We'd like to extend a special Grognard and Friends thank you to Morgan, Brooke, and Fiona of the band Froggy for giving us permission to use their music in the show. If you are not familiar with the girls of Froggy, they are a young Philly punk band that have blown up the internet with their song 7-Eleven Nachos, so much so that 7-Eleven took notice and has even partnered with them. Their sound is very old school punk, and we will put up the information on where to find them at the end of the show. Now, let's check in with the friends and start this week's episode of Grognard and Friends. When last we left our friends, they had left the Ratskeller and Professor Prudence Sparklebottom and headed back to the Stone's Throw, where they discovered why it is so very important to never overfill a goblet with wine. The next day, after much cleanup and pain, they headed to the Artisan District to seek out a map maker. Along with the way, they discovered that the Tower of Butt Trumpet's previous master, the Good One, has continued to change. Once in the Artisan District, they were able to locate the shop of the map maker and come to a mutually beneficial agreement with the map maker's apprentice, Norbert. They would map out the sewers, and in return, he would make them a very basic map of the city for cheap. Now back on the streets, they find themselves headed towards the ominously named Black Cathedral. So, are you making a beeline for the cathedral as different horses go by?
I guess.
Okay.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't see any reason. I think besides the map maker.
What was that?
As much as my little legs can carry me.
Okay. Okay, so you're walking down this main thoroughfare and you hear something up ahead, and as you get closer, you recognize it as one of the town criers. And as you get closer, you're hearing the end of his oration, and it's saying, "The magistrate has put a ban on all horses or pack animals entering or leaving the city. It is suggested that they be quarantined within their stables away from healthy animals. Purchase or sale of said animals is also to be halted immediately. The equus noro sickness, or what is being called the mudlarks, is said to spread quickly, but its threat to people is still unknown. The magistrate has said that the rumors of orders to put down the sick animals is currently just that, a rumor, and while it has been discussed, no official order has been given. The magistrate also suggests that people avoid contact with known infected animals except to clean, feed, or care for them. Also happening in the city, the great wizard Alistair Avatar is missing and presumed dead after a horrible explosion in his tower within the library district. Stranger still, it is said that his tower has started to grow and mutate in a disturbing fashion. The City Watch have cordoned off the area in a 1-block radius. It is unknown how long this will last or if the borders will have to be extended due to the growth. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay." And at that point, the town crier heads further on down the road.
I have a bad feeling that horse disease is just going to keep going no matter how hard they try. It's like a will of a god, I think. I do not think they're going to get rid of it with quarantine.
Eternal vengeful God.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Dead. Dead. They think Alistair is dead.
Well, maybe.
You just said missing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just saying, to be presumed dead, right? Yeah, they don't know. Just nobody's seen him. I mean, if he's in that tower.
Do you have any way to contact him, Butt Trumpet? Like, do you? Is there like a back me up, Eldred. Gaius? Is there some way to, from your head to the thing? Can you
Yes.
can you do that?
Eldred says there are spells in which you can try to contact. Do you know any of those? If I knew your master, I'd do it for you.
Oh, I don't think I do. Oh dear.
Do they take a long time to learn?
It depends. Magic is a little tricky depending what sort of wizard you are. And the known spells. Now, if we could find someone who has that, you know what?
Huh?
We can work on this. We'll circle back to this because I think
Consult
there's a
the
way.
books.
Yeah. But Trumpet, we'll figure out what's going on for you. Eldred says.
Okay.
Okay.
Did he have any favorite hangouts? Like that one Professor Sparkletushy liked the Ratskeller, but does he have his own bar?
Oh, I didn't think he was much of a drinker. Honestly, I just remember us spending time in the tower. Well, I just hope that we can find a way to figure out if he's okay.
We can do that. We will do our best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as you're going down the street, you can see the cathedral looming high over everything surrounding it. This is a huge building, like twice the size of an airplane hangar, sort of thing, and it's covered in flying buttresses and ornate arches and tall spires, all of them covered in once intricately fashioned details that have gradually weathered over time. The stone of which is matte black, but yet is far from uniform, as some places are far darker than others. Now, you head down this street, and you can see it over the pavilions in which a lot of the artisans have their shops and their stalls. And as you come around the corner to where the front of the cathedral is going to be, there seems to be a square, and it's packed. It's packed with people. And everyone, give me a perception check.
Oh boy.
Good time. Roll.
Perception.
24.
Oh,
Well.
9.
Okay, Gaius.
Mm-hmm.
You notice, just for like a split second, on the far side of the crowd, disappearing around a corner is a very ornate carriage. And with that roll, you even notice that there is palace insignia on the side of it as it disappears and leaves.
Well, interesting. Baron might have been here. Or the Baroness. Is the Baron married? Anyone know? You didn't bring her up. Or introduce me to her. Nice. I think the Baron was here. Oh, by the way, yeah, I saw the Baron's coach, FYI.
Interesting.
Or at least somebody from the palace with palace livery. Very fancy looking. Probably
I
why
can
there's a
only hope their
crowd.
horses weren't sick.
They didn't sound sick. You can usually hear those things from a long way off.
Are there any other crownsfolk around now that Gaius has pointed it out?
You do notice a few people dressed in finery like they might be from the Overlook. You don't know if they're necessarily from the palace, but you notice the crowd is filled with all sorts of people from all levels of society. You notice some finely dressed people. And it seems like maybe they've exited the cathedral at this point, because they're all kind of milling around out front. And the doors to the cathedral are wide open.
What's the vibe?
Maybe a
Are
third.
they anxious? Are they irritated? Are they riled up? Are they subdued? What's the vibe?
Okay, it's very subdued. You see a lot of faces that you're not sure is. It could be sadness, but it could also, on times, border on anger.
Oh, snap.
Ooh.
Can I I'll turn to everyone. Hey, actually, real quick, does this seem like a funeral or like a pronouncement of death?
It seems like it's very possible there is a lot of people in dark clothes.
Oh shit. Hey, did, I think somebody died. So I mean,
That's
do you? But Trumpet, would they hold a funeral for your master if he wasn't here? Was he that kind of guy or?
Oh, uh, uh.
That
Brief moment.
seems
Would I know that?
Ah. Alistair was, you know that Alistair kind of stayed to himself. He was not one for ostentatiousness in any way. He basically was quiet, liked to stay and study his books. He would go occasionally to the university. He tried to just stay to himself and do what he needed to do. You feel like if there was going to be a funeral, this is someone else jumping the gun, very probably, because he is not the sort that would say, "Oh, I want some big funeral right away." That is definitely not like was definitely not like him.
So he was known but not very public?
Correct.
Okay.
He was very well known.
This doesn't seem like the type of thing he would arrange.
Huh.
May
Okay.
I approach one of the people and ask?
Certainly may. As you have to step out of the way of a couple horses going by, you can.
Look out, Nikita.
You also have to watch where you step because it is kind of messy here and messier than usual in the streets with these horses. So let's see. You go up to a. What sort of person are you looking to ask?
Someone who looks more sad than angry, possibly a single woman.
There's a
Hopefully
very
a little shorter.
okay. There is a young woman, probably in her mid-20s to 30s, dressed very nice, but all in black. Her hair is up. She's got a black veil. Very attractive. Possibly elven, but you can't be quite sure with the way her hair is. But she's there with a couple other women. And they just kind of seem to be standing there looking sad and possibly in a little bit of shock.
I approach and for once, once in a blue moon, I try to be very, very polite. Извините, пожалуйста, this seems, may I ask what has happened?
Like they take a moment until they realize you're addressing them, and they look at you, and the woman who you initially went up to like is just kind of looking at you and almost looking through you. But one of her friends says, "This is the funeral of Porthos. He was one of the 10 Blades."
Porthos, you say?
Porthos.
Porthos, I see.
Porthos with a K.
My hearing isn't very good with the helmet. I apologize. One of the 10 Blades. I'm new in the city. May I inquire as to what that is?
Oh my, you don't even know, do you?
I do not. I am sorry.
The 10 blades, also, the blades of the Baron. They were the elite guard of the previous Baron, before the Baron Titus Drawn. They were, the Baron Tiberius McAllister.
Oh, the previous Baron is
Correct.
okay.
And the Baron and his guard were very much loved by most everyone in the city.
It looks like it. This is a very large crowd.
And as you look, you see like the crowd is extending down the streets, down the side streets as it continues to come out.
Is Glorious here?
You
Should be.
give me a perception check. Okay,
14.
you do not, knowing his style from the few times you've seen him, his style seems to be very consistent. You don't seem to see him amongst the crowds here, but you can see that the doors are wide open and not everyone has left. There are still a few people kind of trickling out of the cathedral. So, and from the angle in which you're looking, you can see that there still seems to be a fair number of people inside.
Has Nikita come back?
Thank you very much. You have my deepest condolences. I come back to the group and relay what I've heard. Perhaps that was the previous Baron in the carriage that you saw, Gaius.
I didn't know they handed that stuff down without the other one dying. That news to me. Didn't ask any backstrap. I really got just really drunk that night. I didn't actually gain much information now that I think about it. That was probably a bad idea. I'm literally the most important person I ever met. In the human realm, at least, that I know of.
That sounds like a story.
I have stories, and some are true, some are false. Hell, I don't even know which ones are real, so half the time.
Eldred says, I think she means about the Baron.
Oh, yeah, no, that one's 100% true. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice guy.
This is the new Baron now, not this Tiberius dude?
Yes, the most recent Baron, that one. Unless you got replaced, and how long have I been here? A week? I'm almost certain we would have heard of that. So yes, I met the newer Baron. I don't assume there's two Barons running around.
I would like to check out at least the structure, unless
Okay.
that would look really weird right about now.
Well, as long as you're not going to be sticking your hands on it and stuff, but if you could walk up and look at things real easily,
I would like to do that.
okay, there's a huge set of steps going up to these two huge doors that the doors go up probably about 20 feet and are wooden with metal bands and studs, iron studs all over them, and it's wide open. And as you go up there, you can see a little bit inside. There are quite a few people inside still, it broken off into groups. You know what? Give me a perception check.
Crossing fingers. Praying to deities. That's not bad.
Okay. You think in the brief moment that you pass by the doorway in the far distance, you see a light hit something that for a brief second you think it might be glorious just by the way he dresses, but you only got it for like a fraction of a second. But whereas everyone else is dressed all in black and solid black and everything, you caught a glimpse of some white and gold. But it was way up near the front. And then as you look at the building, you can see that this cathedral was built out of, initially, now especially that you can see inside, was initially built out of white granite. And
Very nice.
give me an intelligence. Do you have a proficiency for stone cutting or your knowledge of stonework?
As a dwarf, she should have for stone.
Like stone familiarity.
Yeah.
Stone cutting.
Should be
Stone
+2.
cutting is an intelligence history check for stonework. At least if
Okay.
you're using the player's manual.
So make an investigation check. Make sure you add your proficiency and do it with advantage. Okay. What you can tell is that this was originally white granite. It is very old. You can tell that this probably at one time had amazing, intricate detail, but from weathering has kind of, all the sharp edges have rounded out. And that the black that, as I mentioned before, is not uniform, is stained into the stone, has absorbed this color.
Would I be able to tell if dwarves did this work or not?
With that roll, I'm going to say you're not sure.
Just checking.
But you, being a dwarf, just assume that any good work is always done by
yeah.
dwarves.
Oh, yeah.
So,
May I peek inside to see
absolutely.
what kind of church this is? Cathedral?
Absolutely.
Would it be a specific religion or?
You go in, and you walk in easily. There's no one stopping you. Give me another perception check.
Come on, man. Oh, yeah.
Okay. The ceilings are really high. It's the white granite really shines in here. There's a lot of torchlight because what once were these probably really amazing stained glass windows that go almost the height of the building are all blacked out with the same stain that the stone has absorbed. So there's lots of candles and lots of torches lit. You have no idea who this is to. It's a huge room and very ornate. You can see and hear kind of, you get an idea of how ornate and amazing the outside of this building probably originally was. Because in here, it's extraordinary. This is the work of masters.
Definitely dwarves.
You see a lot of people in here broken off into groups. You do notice one thing that's a little odd. Even with that roll, it's just something that's hard to miss. You notice a lot of people have these huge feather plumes. The women have them stuck into their hair as part of their hairstyle. And a lot of the men are wearing hats that have these huge feather plumes, and they're all of blue. Like a deep, like a very bright blue.
Anyway, I could try to sidle up to Glorious. Does he look
He is
swamped?
okay. He is way at the front, and when I say way, like it's the length of probably 1.5 football fields away from you.
You.
And he is talking to. He's talking to a very tall man, an older man in black and gray religious vestments, who looks very stern, glorious. In like it's a far distance, but even from this distance, you can tell this is not the usual glorious that you've known. He looks very serious, not just somber, but serious. He is in his usual gold and white outfit, except he has a sash of black, and the usual plume in his hat, which is usually white and gold, is now blue. Next to this, surrounding this tall older man in the religious vestments, are 3 hooded figures in black robes, tall and thin. Not as tall as the older guy, about the same height as Glorious. The robes are black, but they don't look like they were originally black. They look stained in much the way the outside of the building looks.
Interesting.
And you can't see their faces from where you are.
If I stick my head back out the door, am I able to see any of our folks that I could signal to try to tell them they might want to come in? Or...
Have any of you moved?
No.
Okay.
No.
They seem it where they were, so you can actually step out and you can see that they're still where you left them.
Okay. I try to like... Come.
As you keep doing that, like, there are some people walking out who are kind of giving you a look like it's not a pleasant look. It's kind of like they're offended by what you're doing.
Izviniti. I don't want to shout.
Well, yeah.
All right,
I'll start to come over.
Okay, so you see Kellen and you see Butt Trumpet headed your way.
Oh yeah,
Great.
Yeah. Reed and I caught. Yeah, the Reed and Wyatt was starting
I'm
to wait
holding
first, and we
Kellen's
see all the
hand.
dirty looks.
Okay.
And I'm like, no.
Okay.
We're not with her.
So you all
Maybe
make
we
it
should
to
get
the
her
top
out of
of the
here.
steps at the entryway and see basically what I've described.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to try and stay out of the spotlight because I'm wearing a bright green hat, and I
Okay.
kind of feel really bad about this. So
Okay.
I'll hide behind guys
So-
or something, whatever.
That's easily done.
Yeah.
Is there like a stray blue feather that I can like slip into my beret?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Bum, bum,
while he's doing that, it occurs to me maybe I should remove my helmet
Okay.
out of deference or something.
Oh,
21.
very good. You don't find a full feather, but you find a pretty decent sized part of one broken off that would be perfect for your beret.
Okay, so I'll find one and just like slip it
Okay.
in.
Good call.
Like,
Good call.
pin it through the fabric a little bit.
Very good.
Paul, all those scarves I bought for Reed that one time. You think I bought a blue one? I think I bought a blue one, right?
Roll a 20-sider. As long as you get over a 10, I'll say that you have one.
All right. Nope, didn't buy a blue one. All right. Lance just looks around. He's like, not a fan of blue, and just keeps walking.
Okay, everyone roll me a perception check. Please. Oh.
Oh,
Ah,
Okay.
Nice.
I think we perceived it.
Tis been perceived.
So, Gaius, you notice standing together, you notice the quartermaster Octavia Ironwill standing with Captain Maru, or Sergeant Maru.
Oh.
You also see somewhere else, you see Captain Moses speaking with some people. Kellen, you notice this as well. And Reed,
Yes.
you notice standing off to the side with a young man that you recognize, a well-dressed gnome gentleman that you met a while ago, like a couple weeks ago. Briefly, you were taken to his tower, and I believe you tried to sneak in through a window or something.
Oh.
He had a raven.
Yeah.
He had a raven that called you out.
Okay.
Is that,
Yeah.
is that
I'm
Barb?
going to
is that
remain hidden as
Barbacourt?
much as I can. Was that
Is
his
that the
name?
name, Paul? I don't know. I have notes from many, many moons ago when this actual event took place.
Guys, look, the gnome over there. Look.
Yeah, I wasn't there with you, bud.
Oh.
I mean, he fits the description.
Mm,
That is, in fact, a gnome.
it is. It's a gnome. I don't want him to see me.
Butt Trumpet, you see some people who look like they may have come at some time to the tower, but you never actually spoke to them, so you don't know their names, you don't know who or what they are, but their faces look vaguely familiar as having visited the tower.
Okay. Trying to think. Did I ever witness any interaction between them and Alistair?
No, it was kind of like you saw them like either when they were coming in or when they were leaving. That's really about it. So you never had any interaction with them. You don't know what the relationship with your master was. You all you do is recognize you think you recognize a couple faces. That's it.
Did they see me?
No one seems. Matter of fact, because you're so small, almost no one unless they're almost stepping on you. No one seems to notice you at all. And most people seem to be very. They're concentrated on the conversations they're having, or they're just with their own thoughts and just kind of focused on that at the moment. The people aren't like necessarily looking around and stuff like
Then-
that.
Would it be possible for me to maybe make my way through a few people to see if I can overhear anything?
You certainly can.
All
Yeah.
right.
Can I go with them?
You certainly
Please.
can. I'll
I
tell
don't
you.
wanna go by
As I'm
myself.
going, can I use my feature to pick up the upper class dialect?
You certainly can. And I'll tell you what. Kellen, why don't you roll for that and do it with advantage? We'll say that Butt Trumpet is helping you, so I'll give you advantage on that.
Okay, what do I need to roll?
Let's do a we'll let you roll a stealth roll for that.
Stealth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be stealthy.
Okay, with advantage.
Yep.
Oops. Advantage. It's 22.
22. Okay.
Ooh.
Why did 3 rolls come up?
Because I rolled the nat 1 and nat runs.
That's
rolled
right.
as half a
That's right. I forgot about that. Sorry. How you can tell that these people definitely are from the Overlook, and it's more of a posh dialect. The little bit you're getting of of the discussion is one of offense. The one person saying to the other, "Can you believe that he had the nerve to show his face here after all that he has done?"
Ooh. Can we deduce
Could I also-
who he is? Oh,
I was just going to say, hopefully before Kellen wanders off too far, maybe he can make his way around to Glorious and keep an eye on those black-robed fellows. Do they look familiar, like the ones from the Stone's Throw, with the papers? Or was that only Reed who saw them?
Reed is the only one, and he didn't even see them. He heard about the people at the Stone's Throw.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know
Betty
if...
told me.
Never mind.
Um, Kellen, give me an investigation roll with disadvantage, because this is you're getting just a little snippet.
okay. Investigation, disadvantage,
Yes.
12.
Okay. What you kind of deduce is from the way they're speaking, the person that they're talking about obviously is also highborn of some form. In other words, it's someone that they know from their part of society. You don't know how they know them. You don't know if they know them well at all. But it's obviously not a commoner that they're talking about. It's obviously not somebody of a lower stature. So they're talking about someone who's either on equal footing as themselves or higher footing.
So I would like to
And
sidle up with my blue.
These people are not wearing the blue plumes. They're just dressed very expensively.
Okay, I'll sort of pocket the blue plume and walk up to them.
Okay?
Sorry to interrupt, but I wasn't able to make it inside due to the crowds, but you said he was here.
They kind of look around, then look down, and kind of take you in and look you up and down. And why, yes, my good man. Didn't you see?
Well, I only caught the passing of a wagon, but I couldn't be sure. Was it really him?
Oh, it was him. In all his pomp and circumstance. He can't go anywhere without letting everyone know.
Dear gods, did he bring his henchmen?
Of course. You think he would trouble himself to step out of his own carriage without help?
God.
The other one says, of course he had help. He was obviously in the bag. Well, of course. That's all that little piece of shit does. He certainly doesn't, you know.
Of course, of course, of course. Well, let us hope this doesn't happen again too soon.
They look up front and they say they get very serious and say yes. Let's definitely hope that.
Dear gods, how many are left?
I only know of 2 in 7 Rivers. The rest, well, they took the hint and they left. And the one says, I hear there are a couple down in Ankmar.
Hmm.
And the other one goes, yes, I heard that too. The other ones, though, I'm not so sure.
A shame that lot aren't more common. Well,
We were better people for them, and it was a better city for them.
indeed. Let's hope the days that come are a bit more bright, yes?
Seems questionable, but yes, young man, let's do hope.
And I'll
The other
sort
one
of
says-
nod and
The one says, "Is that Felicia?" My gosh, I think it is. If you'll excuse us, young man. And they'd go,
Of course,
they'd
of course.
walk over, and the one's going, Felicia dear. And they kind of go through the crowd.
I'll come back to Butt Trumpet and Nikita because are you both still in there?
I think
Yeah, I
Butt
had-
Trumpet went in.
Butt Trumpet was with you, actually.
Oh, great. So I'll sort
I
of.
came with you, but I was out of the way.
I suppose I'm still holding Butt Trumpet's hand. I don't know that
Yes.
I've ever. I'm just sort of like walk
And they
back
could
over.
not bat an eye at that.
Just coming back over. Okay. Looks like what Gaius saw was right. Baron was here, and hoo-hoo, some people are not too happy about it.
I mean, he
Not
seemed
the
like a very
people-
nice gentleman, and we drank copious amounts. He really held his liquor, which is saying something for me.
Well, apparently, whatever his current deal is, he did not have a good relationship with the Ten Blades. I mean, apparently there are only 2 left in town and a few back in Akmar. That's your place, right, guys?
It's next in the stop of my journeys that I would like to do, yes. To at least pursue what exactly happened with my church on the whole. Yes. So this just another reason to head to Ankmar if it sounds like something of interest. Granted, I don't know much about these Baron Blades. I mean, they sounded like good people from just overhearing what the crowd's saying around me. Oh, and while this is happening, the entire time, Gaius is on the lookout for, going a deep dive on the notes here, Lord Ulrich, a close personal friend of his because he's saved his life once.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, no, not that one. Found my weakness. Anything to deal with intelligence.
You can do it.
Ugh.
I would
Nope.
offer to
Please,
help,
don't-
but
Heart of the cards.
You
Nope.
do not see him.
Nope. Oh, dang it.
Is Reed around?
Reed is with you.
I'm
I
behind
know Reed
guys.
said he wanted to keep his...
So you know,
Hiding.
you when you came in, you kind of skirted to one side and are kind of over by one of the sides. And when you moved, you kind of went. You know how in churches it's almost like sections of pews, and there's aisles going. There's the long aisle down the center, but then there's little aisles to break it up. So you had gone
Yeah,
down
yeah.
one of those little ones to meet up with this group, these people.
Okay.
So, but you, so
I'd like to
everyone's
take-
back kind of over by the side at the moment. And
Okay.
you know what? Everyone, give me a perception check again, please. Sorry to be doing this a
boy.
lot, but a lot's going on.
Busy day. Ooh, 21.
Awesome.
13. Not doing great on these right now.
Yeah, 11.
Go, Kellen, go.
Okay, Kellen, you're the one who notices this. You notice up front, Glorious speaking to this religious person. The religious person does not look happy at all, but nods, like, reluctantly. And Glorious, pats him on the shoulder, nods his head, turns around, and very quickly is coming down the aisle, the center aisle, looking very serious. And he walks out and he kind of leaves, and he leaves at a brisk pace, and you see it's a very stern look on his face.
As someone who has seen people about to murder other people and or actually murder people, and has been around like a fair number of aggressive bully type folk, does he look like he's, shall we say, on one? Is he about to is he about to do it?
Yeah, I'm not going to even have you roll for this, because I would say that you can definitely tell it's a possibility. How about that?
Okay. As he's walking, I'll just let out a low, oh shit.
What is it?
I know that look. This could be bad.
Is it the gnome?
No, there's a gnome? What gnome?
Yeah.
No gnomes. Glorious, did you see that? The shoulders, the way they sort of, the stiff jaw, the clenched fist. He's gonna kill someone.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say beat the living hell out of someone, but yeah, that could be only an extra step.
Should we follow
He's
him?
who I think he is. Can we follow him? Can we
You can try.
Scooby Doo this?
All while
Let's
holding
do it.
hands.
Okay, you start to follow, and from the front of the cathedral, you hear, "May I have your attention, please? It seems that matters have changed. The burial is being postponed. That is all. You will be informed when it is to happen, if at all. Good day." And this guy turns around, and followed by these three hooded figures, disappears down a side door out of the front area of the cathedral. And there's just muttering everywhere all of a sudden.
Anything good from the crowd in the mutter? Listening for opinions on why the burial is being postponed. Does anyone
Okay.
seem with certainty to know or have a good hunch, something that
Okay.
sounds believable about why?
Okay, give me a perception check.
If I can get this die to vanish. All the die from our previous roll have just now filled my screen.
Oh yeah, me too. That happened too.
All right, here we go. Damn.
Okay. It's enough to hear a little bit. You hear a lot of, "Oh my stars," and "Oh my goodness," and "How? I've never heard of such a thing." And you hear a lot of shock and "Well, this is just not done." And you can also, from the reactions, it's very easy to tell from what societal status people are. You get everything from, "Well, this just will not do. That sort of behavior does not stand," to "Holy shit, did you hear that?" That it's you hear the gamut. But you do, through all of this, you're not sure where it came from, but you hear one person say, "Well, good for him."
Huh. Do I put it together that is it within possibility that seeing the way Glorious left and that interaction and that announcement, would I as an onlooker suspect that maybe this is a foul play investigation?
The potential is there.
Nothing clear?
What is clear to you, and I'd say you're pretty sure, you're not sure why, but you definitely get the distinct feeling from how you've been observing things that this is occurring specifically because of something that Glorious said to that person. This is all a result of Glorious's intervention into the situation.
Oh boy. Well, after stopping to hear that, we better catch up to him.
All right. I can pick up butt trumpet if it'll help move faster.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll pick up both of them to help move faster, and then everyone climb on top.
It looks like a totem pole.
Yes. Let's see the guys.
Kellen, give me a perception check with disadvantage because some time has gone by and the speed in which he was leaving.
9.
Okay, yeah, no, you step out and it's, Glorious is pretty easy to spot. You don't see white and gold anywhere.
Yeah, he might be about to show us why he's glorious.
And also, Kellen, you with your keen sense of logic, you realize that different people within your group seem to have noticed. It's like your group knows people in there, so just something to consider. And you recognized people as well.
What time of day is it?
About mid-afternoon.
Lunch and
Early to mid-afternoon.
So, I guess once we get outside, I'll just from atop Gaius' head, I'm doing the little boy at the carnival. Just sort of like.
This feels widely inappropriate for this moment, but okay.
Just sort of. I smole.
Did guys just pick all of us up?
He's
I
juggling
say it
you.
in jest, but I say it in jest, but I don't actually know if it's true. Yeah, sure, why not? I am
I lean
relatively
over.
strong.
You got one
Two
giving
little
piggyback,
arms.
one on his hip, and one he's just holding. And
We are so
Reed,
conspicuous.
Reed is next to
Yeah.
you going like this.
Yeah.
This is why you don't bring kids to a
Making
funeral,
funny
folks. Just not appropriate. Not appropriate.
I'm all about the Kellen jar.
This-
We just want uppies.
Puppies?
Uppies.
Can
That
I,
is the
like,
official
from on top
term.
of Gaius, just say, like, so that's a lot. We want to stop, regroup, maybe at the Stone's Throw. Little chew and chat.
We could. Do we want to talk to anybody else we recognize inside? Get a little bit more info. What's going on here before we leave?
Just
I
don't go
know
near the
we
gnome.
saw.
What was that, Reed?
Okay.
Don't go near the gnome.
God,
There's
Don't go
only
near the
one.
do you
gnome.
remember his name? Do you remember his name yet?
No. But he don't like me, I'm sure. So.
Was his name like? Oh, hold on. Keep looking at my old notes, which are way less organized than I thought they were. Quito? Does that ring a bell? Through Paul? Anything? Nothing? All right.
Can
Sure.
Reed make a memory roll?
I'll let you roll
Recall
a
knowledge.
intelligence check.
Oh boy. Not my specialty. All right.
You got it. You can
Does
do it.
anyone here have that special?
Do it.
Hey, I'm a 2.
You have no clue at all who this guy is. I mean, you recognize who he is, but his name totally escapes you.
Okay.
Bad gnome.
Well, Yeah. Okay. Well.
And Reed, he was very nice to you, even though you crawled in his window. He was still very nice and welcomed you in. If you remember.
I know. Well,
Okay.
I doubt it would. I doubt it would. I doubt that show of mercy would keep going on. So I just
Okay.
I don't want to push that.
No problem.
Yeah.
Going
So,
back.
did anyone else? Did anyone else want to talk to anyone before we left? Before we make that sojourn. What were the guards that you said we recognized? There was
Octavia
Moses.
Ironwill?
that was the
Maru?
Captain Maru.
And then the other captain we met the other day, whose name eludes
Moses.
Yeah,
me.
we had
Moses, that's it, yeah.
Moses. Yeah. Anyone want to talk to any of them for any reason before we get out of here? Get any more info?
That might
Yeah.
be useful, yeah.
Actually.
Did anybody find out why this guy died or how he died?
No. That's why I'm asking why we
That's
should
exactly what I'm about
Is
to
that
ask.
something you should ask?
His name?
I
Did anyone
actually-
catch his name?
Porthos.
Yeah.
Porthos.
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 That-
Yeah, those-
Porthos?
It's a Corthos.
Ah,
Da.
with
K,
a
Porthos.
K. Yes.
Yeah, definitely with a K.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the woman that Nikita spoke to outside.
Yes.
A cat.
Yes. He's like a real important guy. Junk.
So I will slide down and sort of like tap Reed on the shin, like, come on.
Where are we going?
We're gonna go see Maru.
Okay. Very good. Let's go.
We want to talk
Should we
to
just
the
walk
other
Wizard
guys
of
or
Oz
just
style
we
with a-
follow?
What?
Sorry.
I was just gonna ask, should we just get their Wizard of Oz style arms linked side by side?
No.
That would
Thank
not
you.
be appropriate, I don't think, at a funeral. Even a dwarf kind of questions that one.
I mean, we're all on Gaius' shoulders at this point. If we haven't dropped to ourselves yet.
And you hear, guys, I'm almost certain we're blaspheming someone somewhere.
Guaranteed.
And I am not wholly comfortable with that.
All right, we'll hop down, or I'll hop down. I cannot speak for Bertram, but
I try to make my way down. I can't imagine it's too graceful, though. I probably slide off the shoulder and fall on my little bottom.
Give me a dexterity check there, Butt Trumpet.
Oh, goody.
Gaius goes to grab Butt Trumpet before they slam into the ground. I
Trying to
guess
find
dexterity.
Trying to find it. How about, can I do athletics instead?
Sure.
Let's see how.
Okay, Gaius, give me a dexterity roll, please.
All right.
to save the blue bum.
Okay.
At which point, Gaius' hand just shoots out and like grabs the butt trumpet mid-fall and just, there you go.
Butt Trumpet, if anyone was watching, would see basically them try to take a step down, totally lose their thing, and plummet down, and without even looking, Gaius just reaches out a hand and grabs them by the seat of the bottom, and it's almost like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, where Butt Trumpet's just like starfished out about half a foot from the ground.
I love
Very
it.
good catch.
Eldred goes,
I'm not even.
well done.
Nah. That shouldn't have happened that well.
Thank you, Papa.
Oh no. No, not in this place. There's some rule being broken.
Okay, where are you
Please
headed?
go.
Are the guards feathered up?
Yes.
So feathers back out.
Okay.
And are they all chatting amongst themselves, like Octavia, Maru, and Moses in like
Octavia and Maru are together. Matter of fact, they're arm in arm. Moses is over speaking to a few other guards and some people who look like they might be from the Overlook.
Okay. So I'd like to sidle on up with Reed. So I'd say Sergeant, Quartermaster.
The Maru kind of smiles and nods to you, and the quartermaster leans down and says, "Oh, but you are mistaken, young man. This is our good captain now, Captain Maru."
Captain? Congrats.
She smiles and
yes,
says, "Well,
congrats.
thank you."
Congratulations.
And I sort of give Reed a nudge, like, "That's it. Go for it." Also, oh snap! Reading the room, you said they're arm in arm.
Yes.
Is this like? Are they just like homies, arm in arm, or are they arm in arm and it's like, "Oh, dude, sorry."
Give me a percent. Give me an investigation check.
Oh, you got no chance, bro.
Before I'm like, "Yay, be social." Oh, adjust.
Shift fire.
What
What the hell?
It definitely looks like that might be the case.
You are
Right,
doing the
that's
Santa
intelligence
Claus?
checks from now on, Big
There are a
Dog.
couple.
It's very possible. You get that vibe.
So I sort of like look over at Reed and like in the table the conversation that I'm about to have to him, like, so I mean, I've heard some talk, and I know we're not official or anything, but is this bad?
And they're the initial niceties and happiness of seeing you and the introductions and everything turns serious and not, obviously some sadness, and they're like, this is very bad. Yeah.
I've seen maybe not some I've seen some people, and I nod to the coffin before. Whenever something like this happens, is this are there gonna be a lot more of these based on this?
Well, there can only be a couple more, and I sincerely hope that neither of them happen. This...
You saw Glorious, right?
The one... And Maru just nods.
We all know that look, right?
Well, it's understandable, considering the circumstances.
Why'd they
You think
postpone the funeral?
Pardon me?
Why did they postpone the funeral?
Burial.
Burial.
Octavia says, we don't know, but there's a number of possibilities, all of which go back to Mr. Glorious, which is understandable.
Is he one of these 10 blades?
Oh yes,
Oh.
absolutely.
Oh,
He was one of. Well, he was one of the original ones.
Wow.
So I'll sort of go, well, that explains and I point to the hip, and why he can get away with that. Um, I know you can't tell us, so maybe don't say it, but foul play?
They look at each other, and Octavia looks at her, and they stare at each other for a few moments, and then Octavia goes, "Fuck it," and Maru kind of just
I
nods.
like her.
The guys in the background, language. You're in a
And,
church.
And Octavia says, "Word was that this was promised, so it's
Oh,
not
shit.
unexpected. It's just more of the same. But
Oh no.
you have to make do, and you have to get along because it's not going to change."
The new Baron is cleaning house.
Maru
I'm
says,
not there. Sorry.
"Oh, sorry."
So I mean, just sort of, I'll peep that. Well, you know us, and I just sort of like stroke the feather a little bit, like drawing attention to the fact that I'm wearing one that I obviously sort of peeped game.
And a little hint of a smile shows on both of them, kind of like they're still really sad, but that's a little something that gives them a little happiness at that moment.
Anything we can do? I mean, we're sort of nobody, so that's good, right?
Well, how is your investigation going? Says Octavia.
We've actually you this is going to sound ridiculous, but you ever hear of the Godfather?
They look at each other and, yeah.
Turns out he's as upset about this as everyone else.
They look at each other like you can see there's a little bit of, you know what? Give me a perception check on that.
Uh-oh.
Can I try to?
Sure.
Whoa. It was a 6, not a 9. I was like, what do you mean 10? What do you mean 9 plus 4 is 10?
Math.
11. Hey.
You're not sure if the look is surprise or something else entirely. But they definitely
Okay.
shared something between them when you said that.
So, whatever that is, because I couldn't suss it, I'll just sort of let it drop and go, well, we're working on a way to get rid of the mist creatures, and we think we found a definite connection with the sewers. Children seem to just be sort of going into a trance and wandering off. We found a kid who was being instructed, an imaginary friend, to go down there. We found his boots and everything covered in the grime from down there. We think somebody's pulling the strings, and however they're doing it, it's getting the kids to go of their own accord.
Huh. Well, that Maru says that's good work. We haven't heard anything like that before, so that's good to know.
Callan, should we tell them about the house too?
We're investigating a possible lead with the Stradivarnius house.
They look at each other, and then Octavia goes, "Really?"
Yeah. Some folks don't seem to even be able to see it. And I know, seems weird, right? But there was a guy looking right at it. I mean, like I'm looking at you. Couldn't see a thing until his friend pointed it out to him. And Gaius, and I sort of, look back and Gaius.
At which point you just see Gaius, he's like looking at pamphlets on the table, picking up books and just like leafing through it. He's trying to I wonder what God this place is for. Is this one of those non-denominational places I keep hearing about where anybody can come? And you see him like putting pamphlets to like Bacchus on the table and like mixing them in with the other
Just leave his card.
the other stuff around, like, hey, whatever.
Well, you're not seeing any pamphlets or anything like that, but you can leave your pamphlets in different places, like
Are there like
in pews and things like that.
Are there like books with the religious text out for the parishioners or anything like that here?
No.
Is that a thing? Okay.
No.
I was gonna say put them in like as like bookmarks. But yeah, no, yeah. You just see guys like looking around, just putting a couple out. It's like, have you? It's like he's like leafing through. It's like, there's like your friend has recently passed. Perhaps you should look up on a new path. One. That's what you just see him doing in the
I'm
background.
stepping away from him. I don't know this stuff.
You see the pamphlet says, "You got a friend that's dying? Come and see the wine."
Come to the clerics of the revels. We'll make you forget all about them.
And your entire childhood.
They're dead now, so it doesn't matter.
I feel
Only
a
the
little
parts you
queasy at the
don't
mention of
remember.
wine.
Yeah, so you just need to get back in the saddle, little butt trumpet. We'll fix that. Just maybe not so many this time.
Back. I'll sort of gesture back, like he was the first one to see it, and now doesn't remember a thing. Whatever happens when these there are these creatures in the mist. Something happens when they hit you. Memory seems to get shaken and loose. I mean, I lucked out, but who knows?
Maru looks at Octavia and says, have you heard anything about these creatures? I haven't. And Octavia goes, no, Kathleen, I haven't heard anything either.
Yeah, when the big crater spit out all the nasty smoke and fog, it was they were in there, like people were hiding in their homes, and there was like this weird tavern, and anyway, there was these creatures when we went outside, and they attacked us a few times. So
interesting. We know that when there's eruptions, people stay indoors because just no one thinks that stuff can be even the little bit, even the least bit healthy. And
it's terrible.
You can barely see your hand in front of your face, from what I gather. So pretty much everyone stays indoors until it starts to dissipate. So that we knew. We didn't know anything about creatures, strange creatures in the mist.
Maybe they're
Yeah.
new.
I'll sort of look over at Bud Trumpet standing there,
Okay.
and go, "Hey, well, Captain, is it alright if we come see you tomorrow? We bumped into the, I guess you could say, apprentice of the mage Alistair, or
They
wizard
both
Alistair.
both of their eyebrows go up like he had an apprentice.
And I just sort of give them the new details,
Okay.
like tense situation, low information, just sort of like, yes.
Okay. Do you point out Butt Trumpet?
I just sort of not directly. I'll just sort of look, because they'll meet them when they meet them. Is it alright if we come see you tomorrow? Pick up an amendment to or an addendum to our writ. Looks like
I think you're good for. I think you'll have to check with Moses, but I think you were good till the end of this week.
no. We got another person with us.
Ah, okay. Okay, well then, yes, we can take care of that.
Appreciate it. We'll try to get to the bottom of this. And hey, if this, and I just sort of look back over at the is it closed casket?
You didn't see a casket at all.
No casket. Damn. I just sort of
more of a memorial service then.
Okay. No body present. I'll just sort of this and like sweep that direction, the general like altar,
Okay.
front of church, deacons and all that. Like I sweep that area. This needs an extra set of hands or eyes, or and I look over at Reed. Ears and lean in. Hands.
Thank you.
You got it. Well, I know your day is just getting started, so we'll check in tomorrow. Quartermaster? Captain?
Always a pleasure.
Sorry about your friend. Sorry about your friend, Captain.
Thank you. And Octavia kind of looks like, okay.
You're
Cut back the guys, just like his hand resting on someone's just like, I know this is a trying time, but sometimes we must ask, what would Bacchus do? And then he pulls out like a piece of cloth with WWBD and ties around the wrist. It's like, that's to remember. And he just walks away.
You see Bacchus over there
like,
with a donut in one hand wrapped around someone and pouring wine into a coffee cup in the other, and talking to them.
And it's like, yeah, this is what we gotta do, you know.
Can I have made my way to the front of the church to see where the no casket, and is there anything up there that gives us a clue as to the denomination? Or
okay, you make it up there, and give me a perception check.
Oh boy. You got it. 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 You got it.
I can do it.
You can do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Okay.
Oh,
That's what you needed. That's what you needed. What you see is there's the altar and all the things on the side and the doorways and everything. And then there are kind of very thin columns at the back, as opposed to where there's normally a wall with a big stained glass window and everything. there's these very thin columns behind, and you can see behind is a whole nother part of the building with seating on either side and another altar at the back. And in front of that, you see a very ornate casket in gold and blue.
Oh, wow.
If you weren't on the other side of this altar, you wouldn't have noticed it because of where it is in the back there.
Right.
And you do see some people in the stalls on either side, kind of standing there and talking. Some of them have come out and they're talking, and with that roll, you can even tell these people are very well dressed, and you notice lots of jewels and jewelry, and even men, women, all are kind of dripping in it. And yet, a lot of them don't necessarily look upset or any of that. It's almost like they're just at a luncheon. They're just kind of talking.
They're the barons, folks. Okay. Current baron.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Am I able to walk further in there, or will there be like dirty looks to physically hold me back?
Oh, the columns are close enough that you couldn't really fit through the columns.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's like a cloistered off section of the cathedral.
Gotcha.
And you can see
still
that
no
these
idea.
columns are very ornate and intricately detailed. Just like everywhere you look, there's details. But yet, nothing seems to let you know who this is a cathedral to.
Right. What are the details, may I ask?
It's a lot of intricate detail work, such as carved in ribbons and little spheres carved into the stone lining edges, and ribbons then going over top of that. Little designs carved into the stone. It all flows very easily. Give me one more perception check. Or you can do these stone. What we did before to check the about the masonry.
Yeah, let's see if I can remember what that one was. Perception. Investigation. Let's try that. Oh, Jesus. I might have to switch to Bacchus the way I keep rolling.
Eldred behind
Shouts
you
out those
says,
who help themselves.
"Don't say that too loud."
At which point, once again, in the distance, you see guys like helping someone, and someone said, you see it, his head just whips around and looks right at you. Huh?
Somebody say Bacchus?
Someone looking
Bacchus?
at Bacchus sees, he still has the donut in one hand. Now there's a bite out of it, and you see a little crowd around him with people holding up their mugs, and he's like pouring the wine from his wineskin into each of them as he's talking. Okay, you can't really see details that other than things that are obviously decorative. What you do notice with that, the minimum that you do notice is there seems to be a lot of spirals in the designs.
Okay. Interesting.
And once again, it's easy for you to notice that this is like master craft work. This is really high-end work.
I have to find out which dwarf did this. This is incredible. Maybe the priests will know. Are we good to go, or is Gaius converting the masses?
There is.
Well, whenever
one
you guys
more
are
thing.
done talking to Pico, I can. Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, once everyone's done, that's when Gaius is done.
So I will turn to Reed. Hey, is that gnome still in the room? Just by like, this is me asking you, Paul. Is the gnome still in the room?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going
You
to
see
turn
him.
to Reed and go.
You see him speaking, or actually listening to some well-dressed people who are talking kind of at him. And he's just kind of like nodding, but the eyes seem to be kind of looking over the room. And behind him is a young boy who's, you can tell he's dressed nicely, but you can tell that he's uncomfortable the way he's dressed because he's constantly like playing with the collar and like
A human or no?
Oh,
He's a human
buddy,
young
I've
man.
been there. I feel your pain. They got you in the monkey suit. Feels bad, man. I'm going to turn to Reed. Okay. Same team, right? What's the deal with the gnome?
Well, so I was. He caught me going through his window, but he was very nice. But I don't think I should talk to him or see him. I don't want him to see me.
Well, and I just sort of begin to like hold my nose as like whiff of horse goes by. Like, yeah, wow, that is getting bad. Okay, yeah, you were going in his window. I mean, were you? Did you get something good? What were you doing in there? What's it?
No, I didn't get anything. He caught me. I was trying to. I was trying to sneak in, and he caught me. But he's got like a raven. I don't know. He might be a wizard. I don't know.
Oh, that's great. Hey, look.
Or wait, do I know Paul?
Oh, he was definitely a wizard.
Oh, no, yeah, he's a wizard.
That you know because
You're a wizard, Harry.
you also know that a lot of your previous friends were in there speaking with him.
Mm.
It's up to you. I don't know if you remember what they were talking about or not, but that's why you.
I do not.
I remember that's why you were sneaking.
Reed does
in.
not pay attention to such things.
Okay.
The friends were the distraction.
You hadn't caught up with the friends, so the door had shut before you could get in when everyone else went in. So you tried to sneak in the window.
Right. So
I will.
I could tell you more later. I feel like see, Gaius and I had these other friends, and there were these two dwarves. And we came to Seven Rivers with other people, and they were there with that gnome. So.
Oh, well, did you? You said he's a wizard. Did you ask him about the? And I sort of give a little forehead scratch.
Was that before that or after that, Paul?
Definitely after.
That was definitely after.
Yeah, what you got that in Ferndown?
Yep.
Right.
Damn, I'm just remembering shit tonight.
Yeah, you got memories.
I found my
You
old
can
notes.
learn to remember things.
Hey.
Oh, I could also tell you a fortune that was read to me. Got it down verbatim.
I don't remember asking him about that, so I don't think I did.
Okay. listen.
I was a little
buddy,
worried because I got caught sneaking in the window. So,
Well, you said he was nice, and some other friends are in there. I mean, I got to level with you.
I mean, he was nice that he let me go, but I don't know what.
Well, maybe he's okay, but you got, your situation there, and somebody tried to kill you, man. Like that. Does that not bother you? Because that bothers me. So maybe we figure out what's going on there. Come on, let's go talk to the wizard. Worst case scenario, he says no.
Okay.
You can do it.
All right. Okay.
All right, bacon on me. Let's go.
All right.
They're off to
Okay.
see the wizard.
Who's 5 feet away?
It's been listening the whole time.
More than that. I mean, he's like,
Sorry, half a room away.
yeah,
A large room.
yeah. But you can make it over there.
As I can see that
hope so.
I've peeped that he's like disinterested in the conversation.
Yes, and is it just the two of you? Butt Trumpet, where are you?
I believe I stayed back with Nikita
Okay.
and probably made her distance with her as Gaius was handing out pamphlets.
Gotcha.
Would
Very
we
good.
be able to follow where the priest went before? Like down that
Hold up a minute.
holding.
Nikita went up to the front of the church, and you definitely didn't go with her.
That's right.
So where would you be?
I feel like I was a little too afraid to follow one direction or the other, and I kind of just sort of scooted toward the pews in the church
Okay.
to be out of the way.
Okay, so no one stepped on you.
No, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. So are you like sitting in a pew somewhere where your feet barely make it to the edge of the seat?
Yeah, I was about to say I kind of scooted over to the edge of it, so my little feet are dangling, just doing kind of little kickies.
Okay. Okay, so Kellen and Reed, you head towards this gnome?
I will head towards the gnome
Okay.
with no attempt to disguise. Oh snap! As I'm peeping, are the people the gnome is chatting with blue feathered or not?
Not.
Pocketing it real quick.
Well, hold on. Give me a perception check.
Buttsicles.
Trumpet, actually.
It's a 10.
Okay, that's enough. You notice that the gnome has a small blue feather in his lapel.
Okay, so I'll start to, and then just okay, and then keep going over.
As you get
And
close, and you've been looking at him, you said you weren't hiding it. As you get close, you're
Yeah.
looking at him and headed towards him?
Yes, I'll head towards him. I'm heading towards him with purpose, some degree of urgency, it appears.
That's what I wanted to know. So as you start to get close, he's clocking you and looking at these people and then clocking you, going back and forth. And then you see a little grin on his face and he says, "Ah, my good friends, if you'll excuse me, I'm terribly sorry. Ah, my good, it's so good to see you." And he comes over and takes your hands and goes, "Please get me the fuck out of here."
Language.
Oh, and I'll say loud enough for sort of the immediate vicinity here, as if we're just having a conversation. Oh, thank goodness, we've been trying to reach you about that order you've placed. It finally arrived, shipments and customs being what they are, but
Oh,
they're here.
good.
Please, come take a look.
Please, let's hurry. I've been waiting for that.
And I'll sort of usher him out, and head back towards the door.
And the boy that's with him is kind of looking, kind of really perplexed, but then shrugs his shoulders, okay. and then tags along afterwards. And you see the boy, Reed, you notice the boy keeps looking at you like, do I know you?
Got one of those faces.
Um,
Luckily, he's growing the mustache.
Yes. I kind of say low enough so that pretty much only the 3 or 4 of us, if the boy is real that close, I say kind of low enough, like you remember me?
And the
To-
boy
to
looks
the
at
gnome.
Oh. And he
To
looks
the
at you, goes, as you're walking, he kind of looks at you and is like, I don't think so. And then
Nope.
he goes, no, and he has a walking stick. And then as he's walking, and like you don't even notice at first, he takes the walking stick and kind of pushes your hat up just a touch and goes, ah, yes, the inquisitive friend. I remember you now. Well met again, young man.
Hello.
He goes, please, let's go. We'll talk.
so,
And he leads you. He goes and like he takes the walking stick and kind of leads the way, and then kind of walks ahead of you. And
Okay,
it's him, the two of you, and then the boy dragging along, like trying to keep up. And these little gnome legs are kind of going fast. You see his hands make a motion. You hear him mumble something, and you step out of the door. And he starts heading down the steps, and just almost like choreography, as he reaches the bottom of the steps, a carriage comes around and the doors open up. And he climbs in and looks around and goes, come on, spit spot. Let's
I'll
go.
sort of, if we were going out, I would have been like daiquiris as we're like been making the like as we're
I was
opening the
about
door
to
to everyone,
say.
everyone who can see like
Kellen brings out a conch and blows into it. Party assemble!
So do the two of you get into the carriage?
well yeah, I'm gonna get in.
Should we wait?
Okay.
Should we wait for Gaius and her friends?
Yeah, I mean I hope
Yeah, well, you
Everyone
see
has sort of
the
seen-
gnome kind of going, come on, young man.
We're doing this, Kellen? All
Let's
right.
go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
The boy hops in, the door shuts. The two of you give me a perception check. Again.
ah shit.
Prisoner of the gnome.
Yes.
16.
Crafty gnomes.
Okay,
11.
Kellen. It doesn't register at first until you're actually in the carriage. There is no one sitting atop the carriage. And as that hits you, the carriage takes off, and you start driving away and says, and the gnome says, thank you, young man. You were a godsend. If I had to hear about another one of those cousins and stories, and I'm sure they were interesting to somebody, but I dozed off probably after hello. So thank you.
I thought you'd be upset to see me.
I wasn't upset to see you the first time. You couldn't help it that your little legs couldn't keep up with your friends. I myself have that problem sometimes myself.
So I'll sort of, as we're now in his, I'm assuming very nice carriage.
It's a very nice carriage.
Give him the, well met. I'm Kellen Scattershadow, and well, I'm in your carriage. So, who are you?
Bartleby Nickleby at your service, sir.
Bartleby Nickleby. I like that.
Well met.
Okay.
And
so
manners. I
look
like
over
you
at
already.
Like taking in the charm.
I'm reading.
So I look over at
remember.
Reed.
Oh, I remember. You're kind of hard to forget, young man. You have some dirt on your upper lip, by the way.
Oh, mustache burn.
Ow!
Mm.
You need
Yeah,
guys
take over it,
put
Reed.
some words up.
On Reed, it's actually just a piece of bacon.
Ah, that's where that went.
Take inspiration for that. That deserves inspiration. So make a note of that.
Next time you roll with disadvantage because of that.
Yeah, not good
I am
inspiration.
uninspired.
No, that's perspiration. If I give you perspiration, it's a disadvantage.
Ugh. Oh.
So I'll look over at Reed. Well, we a situation, and we are wondering if you know anything about that.
Huh. Well, I assume you weren't born with that, were you?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Of course not. No.
Just checking.
Well, that narrows it down a bit then. Consider myself fairly intelligent, but I'm not that intelligent. I think I would need to at least hear some details as to how you came about that little, shall we say, birthmark?
Oh, I wish I knew more, but what happened was I was with a dwarven friend, and we were watching while our rest of our friends, they were away, and there was like a portal, maybe something that they called it. But we were
portal.
watching it, and yeah, we were in the Ferndale, this town,
I'm familiar
north.
with Ferndown.
and we were in a house, and there was a portal, and our friends went in there, and we were waiting, and I think I don't know if I fell asleep first or something, or maybe there was some kind of spell or something, and then, but both my friend and I, we were both knocked out, and when we woke up, we had these gems in our head.
What did this portal look like?
What did the portal look like, Paul?
Help.
Was it round? Was it red?
Actually, all you remember is it seemed to be a wardrobe.
Oh dear.
Oh, we didn't notice anything other than that wardrobe part,
It was a wardrobe in a basement
right?
with a dirt floor. And
So it didn't look like a glowy portal at all. Oh, okay.
they went into the wardrobe, shut the doors, and that was, you didn't see them until after you woke up, because you went to head towards the wardrobe, and there seemed to be this pink explosion of pink force, and you were knocked out. And when you woke up, your friends at that time were standing over you.
Okay. So it wasn't. It didn't look magical. It more looked like a wardrobe, and there was, when our friend shut the door, I guess they went somewhere, and
Do you know where they went?
and then there's it sounded like a really strange place. I don't really know. I don't think they had a name for it that I remember. But then there was it was almost like when I got knocked out, I kind of remember there was like a rush of light, like almost like something blew up or something.
Ah,
And then when we left, that wardrobe thing was in the basement of this house in Ferndale, and when we left, the house disappeared.
So you left the house and it disappeared? The whole house?
After we left, yeah, yeah. After my friends came back and they found us, and we woke up when we got out of the house, and then the house disappeared.
Fascinating. Well, there are
I do not understand wizards. I don't know how wizards do this stuff.
I don't either. It's very, very confusing. I don't know how I put my shoes on and pants on each day. It's very time consuming.
Has anybody ever stolen your pants?
He just
Do you remember Gaius?
Guys?
The Magic Gang. The Magic Gang stole his pants. They gave him back, but they called themselves the Magic Gang.
I've actually heard of this Magic Gang.
Yeah, that was here in Seven Rivers. We
Yeah.
were staying at the Stone's Throw. We're still staying at the Stone's Throw, and these people stole his pants, and then they talked to him and gave him his pants back. I don't really know why, but
Well, that's an interesting form of banditry, but about this portal, we can come back to your friend's trousers later if you wish. So the portal didn't look anything like damn horses. The portal didn't look anything like an actual.
That one is in the throes of death.
You're going to need to clean the outside of that carriage.
he's probably got a cantrip for that.
You feel the carriage kind of weave over to one side. When the sound is to the one side, the carriage weaves to the other. And shortly thereafter, the carriage seems to go on an incline, like you're going up a hill. And it seems to be a pretty steep hill. But he says this portal, it didn't look like anything magical. It just looked like a wardrobe, you say.
As far as I could tell, yeah.
Okay, that's a little more powerful magic than just summoning a regular portal. If you can disguise it like that. And it sounds like there was some sort of ward put on it as well, it sounds like. To prevent the person going into the portal from being followed. So this is complicated workings. If everything you say is accurate, we're talking about someone who knew what they were doing. And this was in Ferndown?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty nice house, right, Paul? Like it was like
It looked like it was once a nice house, but had been left to the elements because the windows were open, the doors were open, leaves had blown in. No one. How much of the house did you go through?
I know we explored upstairs.
Hold up. Yeah, Chris, hold up. Just read.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I did not do the exploring upstairs, but on the way out, we went through, I believe it was the ground level.
Okay.
I saw a lot of that on the way out. Yeah.
Okay.
After we left the basement.
Okay. Well, my young man, I'm going to have to think on this and maybe do some research. You've intrigued me, though. The fact that this was in Ferndown totally baffles me because I didn't think anybody with those sort of abilities lived in Ferndown, of all places. But who knows?
Well,
I mean,
the house was very old. It could have been it was pretty old, and it looked a little run down, even though it might have once been a very nice home. So it could have been like an old Well, I don't know. Wizards are old, right? Usually, so it could have been an old wizard's house. I don't know.
You tread upon careful ground there, young man. But you're young. You're young, so I'll forgive you. Ferndown is not some place I would expect someone with that power, but then you never know because a very good friend of mine lives in an absolute hole in the wall village known as Amity. So anything's possible. But I'm going to investigate this. I'm going to investigate this. I'd love to hear more if you think of anything else.
If you want to know more
How do we
about
contact
the,
you?
Pardon me?
I was going to say, how do we reach you?
Well, I'm taking you to my home at the moment, and you'll know exactly where I am.
Oh, okay.
So after that performance, we'll say, I'm ready for tea time. How about you?
We left our friends behind. We probably should meet back up with them.
Okay, well I can drop you off here if you'd rather. Before we get into the Overlook.
The Overlook?
You know what? Hold up. Follow me for a moment. I'll take care of things for you. But anyway, you were going to say before you mentioned your friends. Is that the only reason you sought me out? Was because of your little jewelry?
well, Kellen here is he knows stuff. He knew you might know something about it, or maybe you will help me stuff. So.
Well, he's a perceptive young man, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You can
But
learn something.
my other two of our friends are they're wizards like you, and
Like me.
one of them
I'd love to meet him.
One of them, his name is Gaius, and he might know more about that portal. So maybe next time if we talk to you, he could be there to.
I look forward to it. I would, if he can fill in some blanks and give me some more details, I'm sure it would be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
No offense, young man, but while you've given me a little bit to work with, it's kind of like trying to knit an elephant out of a scrap of paper.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
It's a compliment.
Oh, okay.
Common gnomish saying.
Elephants and
So
paper,
I'll-
got it.
Master Nickleby,
Yes,
or
sir.
Mr. Nickleby, or Bartleby, is that okay?
Since we've just met, Mr. Nickleby or Master Nickleby are perfectly fine, and perhaps over time we can get a little more intimate in our knowledge of each other.
All right. Well, I've got a thing about masters, so I hope Mister's cool.
That's absolutely fine.
So I've got a couple of questions that maybe line up Trist and our needs. So, and I explained the mist creatures and how we're looking for a solution to capture and put the murder on one. We've weapons are hit or miss. Magic seems to do well, but if you've got anything or know anything about them, even a little history, what do you call it when you're talking about the way animals change, like snow bunnies versus the forest? Something about the way they came to be.
I'm not exactly sure what you're after, but I will tell you this. Those creatures that you speak of are fairly recent. I think the word you might be looking for is evolution. They're a fairly recent situation. I think the answers you're looking for, if I'm not mistaken, will be found around the area that you've discovered these creatures. Someplace unusual that maybe it isn't, that's a little secret. And if all else fails, I would try the sewers. I know that's disgusting and nasty and horrible, but might be your best bet when dealing with these creatures. I know no one wants to step in that stuff or touch it, and you certainly wouldn't find me there, but I think it might help your situation if you are desperate to find out what these things are.
And I
Just
sort
a
of
thought.
nod and look over at Reed. Okay. And I had one other question.
Yes.
This has been kicking my... it's been providing me no small level of difficulty all week. And then I start to work through the hand motions of whatever cantrip Eldred is taking.
Okay. He Mr. Nickleby walks up to you and goes, "Do it again slower." As you're doing it, he takes your two thumbs and kind of forces the one to bend and goes, "See the angle there?"
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay.
I do.
You want to do it like, almost like it's the latch on a lock, if I kind of catch your specialties.
Oh.
And at this point, everything's fluid. So as it's coming, you want the lock to latch. At that time, I think you'll have better form.
So I like go for it in like muscle memory, like I know how to open a lock, and then just
And it feels a little better. It's going to take some time and some practice, but it's already like you're beginning to feel what Eldred told you should feel when you do it.
whoa. Is that supposed to? Am I supposed to get warm like that?
You're specifically supposed to get a little warm and tingly, yes. That's how you know you're doing it correctly.
Does it always feel like this?
If you're always doing those motions, it should. If you're focused on the right thing.
This is
I have a feeling I
amazing.
shouldn't ask.
Cheryl, no!
You're not even there.
Cheryl, no!
Cutting back to Gaius. And that is why you should always, as he turns and looks around, he's like, "Hey, are we missing two people?" Cut back to Conan.
Yeah, I get up on my knees, look behind me from the pew. I imagine I had seen them leaving. And I kind of look at Nikita, and I think, hey, let's notice, that's kind of a dick move.
Language.
They were chasing somebody, or it's okay, we'll find them.
What?
And, no, not saying it. Not saying it.
Can I ask Nickleby, though? I would ask him. We were talking about a way to send messages earlier. Could you, or do I have to? Wait. You know Gaius. You've met Gaius, and I described Gaius like about yay big, the shoulders, but like if you in the wrong cut of the armor, you think it's a gut, but I swear it's muscle.
All muscle.
Very, very modest fellow, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, very.
And he looks to you, Reed, and says, "This is your friend, right?"
Gaius is the one I was telling you about who would probably know more about the portal. Yeah.
And okay, so not quite portly, but I don't know that I know him.
He's the wine wizard.
A wine wizard. Ah.
Mhm.
Okay, so you want a message to your friends, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what you're hinting at?
Yeah, we don't we don't separate often. That that might be something we
Huh.
might
Never
want to
do.
see someone about that. Potential codependency
And I
and all
doubt
that.
there's
But
anyone else in your party I might know.
uh,
Would he know Eldred? I don't remember if Eldred was there or not.
You could describe them.
uh, tall
Yeah,
black robes.
I just yeah.
Whoa, back up. What?
Oh, I
I
described
describe
Eldred.
Eldred too. Yeah.
Kellen, you were saying though.
Oh, tall black robes. He's got this really cool ring. I should say. I should leave out the adjective. And hair like a bunch of raven's feathers. And looks like somebody just stuck a peridot in his eyes. That shade of green.
Did when you these black robes, do they have any piping on the sleeves or anything like that?
Do they? I mean, I've
They
seen
have gold.
Eldred's
They have
robes.
gold piping on the sleeves.
Yeah, they've got some gold.
This is your friend, and he's traveling with you.
Yeah, he's actually the one who taught me that.
I do not know him, but be careful.
What? Is something wrong?
It's not my place to judge, but if your friend, they're I'm assuming they're really nice robes.
Yeah, velvet, like
Yeah,
you wouldn't believe.
be careful. Watch your back around this person.
Uh, you mean like literally? He's sometimes very hard to find. Like he's there, and then we were in a fight one time, and I looked behind him and just gone, and then whoosh, flame from like an alleyway. Like he's.
I don't know him, but if what you say is true, just watch your back. So I do not know him. Is there anybody else in your group I might know?
Well,
Anybody else that traveled with you, young master? Says to you,
look
Reed,
over at Reed.
or anyone that
Well, no. I mean, most of the rest of our friends are. We've just met recently,
Oh, okay.
but we did meet. We met a goblet
Goblet.
and
I'm very familiar with
Goblet.
goblets. Wonderful little creatures.
this goblet was working with Alistair, who just disappeared or something.
Eyebrows go up and says, "Butt trumpet."
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with butt trumpet. I've never actually had the pleasure of speaking with them, but I'm very familiar with them. What do you?
Yeah, Butt Trumpet's been hanging out with us.
Oh. Okay, especially after what's been going on, Okay, so Butt Trumpet is safe and with your group.
Mhm.
Very good. Oh, Alistair would be very pleased then. That is very good. Oh, but you haven't seen Alistair.
No, when we went by the tower, there wasn't even a door or anything.
Well, that's to be expected. Have you had any dealings with someone named Mamulian that has robes similar to your friend?
No,
Oh,
what? And then Kellen is like visibly like, Mamu, do you know what they used to do to butt trumpet? That's not.
I'm very aware of the ways of Mamulian Blackwolf.
Mamulian Black Wolf. like mentally filing it. No, we heard of him, through Butt Trumpet, but not. We didn't. You mean Eldred's? They
That's
They-
what those robes signify.
family or friend?
Study and rank.
Just temple massage happening. Okay, that's. When I woke up this morning, never mind.
Just, yeah. Does
Okay.
I have to ask? Have you ever seen him in kind of crimson robes, also with that gold piping?
I think
And
we
you
did.
have periodically, yes.
He was wearing those when we went to the sewers, right? Because he washed those out in the. Or I think I
Actually-
remember him wearing red.
Yeah, well, he was wearing red afterwards. He was kind of wearing really, like, it almost looked like burlap robes when he went to the sewers. He
Okay.
changed into those, which looked really tattered and really worn.
Changed into his.
What do red robes mean?
Well, they're one level beneath the black robes.
Oh,
Yeah.
he. Okay. Hey, Mr. Nickleby.
Yes, sir.
It's all the same to you. I think I'd like that cup of tea, please.
Coming right up. And he looks to the boy, and the boy says, and goes off.
Could you get that message to Butt Trumpet?
Absolutely. What message would you like me to send them?
With Reed, everything's okay. With Master Nickleby, meet you back at Stone's Throw Inn.
Okay. Back to the cathedral. So Gaius is there, pouring almost an endless amount of wine into cups of all these people. None of them the posh people from the funeral, but people you have no idea who they are. Some of them you think might actually be like there to clean up after everything, but they're seeing you're offering up wine and they're just kind of offering up mugs.
You gotta help
and
the
everything.
staff out.
Right.
Never ignore the staff.
And Nikita and Butt Trumpet. What are the two of you? Butt Trumpet, you're still sitting in the pew there. You the last you saw of Kellen and Reed, you just saw kind of one of their backsides go out the front door before like people walked by.
Yeah, assuming Nikita is still up toward the altar, is that where she was last time?
Yes.
Okay, then after seeing the two of them leave, I would have hopped out of the pew and probably made my way over to her.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, this is about the length of a football field, so it takes a little while. And Nikita, while you're looking at the
Stonework.
walls and the stonework and everything, you're there for a good long time investigating, and eventually behind you, you hear shh, 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 and then you hear
Okay. So, Jason from Friday the 13th. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, hello, Butt Trumpet. Where have you been?
I was way over there. And now I'm over
It's
here.
a big friggin' place, I know. Look at this
Where did,
stonework.
where did Reed and Kellen go? Did you see them leave?
I don't think I did.
They just
Is
ran
Diane
out the
still
front door.
proselytizing?
I look over my shoulder to. If I look over my shoulder, will I see Gaius converting people?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In the distance, you'll just see it looks like he's drinking with a bunch of strangers.
That's pretty much what it looks
AKA
like.
converted.
Ugh. Don't let me do that for a while, at least.
I will do my best, but you're pretty stubborn.
You also, when you see guys, you see kind of Eldred standing behind him up against the wall, leaning, just looking at his friend and smiling.
I really hope that
Eldred
Reed
has
can come back. I'm confused.
I am too. Did you see if they left with anybody or?
No, you just saw the back end of whoever went out the door last go, and followed by a couple other people that you
Okay.
assume were just leaving the cathedral.
Okay. No, I have no idea if they left with anybody. I just saw them go out the door. I doubt that we have any trace of them if we look now.
No, probably not. But they know where to find us, and worst case scenario, we can meet back up at the Stone's Throw or over at Han's place, because you know how desperate they are for that armor.
Okay, well, if you're not worried, then I'm not worried, I guess.
No, they know how to take care of themselves, so should be okay. Might take a while to find them, but should be okay. I was going to go check and see if I can be annoying to these priests here, find out what this place is. Do you want to come with me?
Ooh, okay, I'd love to watch you annoy priests.
Excellent.
It's like it happens every day or something.
Drill sergeant.
Guys, are you just continuing to do what you're doing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if I can actually see them because there's still a large.
Oh, you
crowd
don't
here,
see
right?
you don't see anybody because you're focused on all these people. Kind of, you
Yeah.
now have a crowd of
yeah.
people all holding up their mugs and glasses and stuff
Oh
in
yeah,
front
no,
of
and
you.
he's got. It's like Bacchus is known by many names. I just choose to prefer Bacchus because that's the easiest to pronounce when you are a couple cups in. You know, he also known as Dionysus. There's forms, and he just goes like rambling off, and then we can cut back to Butt Trumpet and Nikita's adventures.
Okay. Well, so Gaius and Eldred are with the masses at the one end of the cathedral. Butt Trumpet and Nikita are at the other end of the cathedral. And Reed and Kellen are up in the overlook in a wizard's tower. To me, that sounds like the perfect place to call it an evening.
But of course.
Perfect.
Oh boy.
So, thank you very much for joining us. Tune in next week to see what happens with our group that seems to be split to the four winds. Will Nikita annoy the priests who looked annoyed already? Will Gaius gain followers? And will Kellen and Reed find out a little bit more about what's been going on? Tune in next week. Same Grognard time, same Grognard channel. We appreciate all of you. Please continue to watch, and if you could give us a follow, we would really appreciate it. We're more than halfway towards affiliate, so any help would be very much appreciated. And as you hang out with your friends, as you hang out with your families, and as you deal with anybody in this world, just remember, be kind.
We're all good kids like you were good kids, which must seem like a long time ago. We're doing good deeds, taking a stand. We're standing up for things we don't know. Oh, send out the paper SWAT teams, headlines in the New York Times. Send out the TV news crew, you got a 9 o'clock deadline. Be on time. Be on time. At the Hilton Hotel, nobody cares about the savoir-faire. Pass out the guns and the red armbands. You put the helicopters into the air. In the air. Send out the paper SWAT teams, headlines in the New York Times. Send out the TV news crew. You got a 9 o'clock deadline. Be on time. You'll be on time. You'll be on time. You'll be on time.